Hey everybody, my name is Spencer. I'm a staff member here at IFTA, and today I'm going to be walking you through the IFTA website, specifically focusing on the certifications and what that process looks like, the renewal process, and then if you have an expired certification and what the recertification process looks like. But before we jump into that, I just want to give you a quick overview of what our website looks like and what you can find on each of the pages, just briefly. So this is the home page. So you just have some quick information on IFTA here, just some metrics here, and a lot of the gyms that we work with. So if that's ever a question of if my gym will accept my certification from IFTA, if it's listed here, it definitely will. If not, go ahead and reach out to your gym, reach out to us, and we'll be able to help you out with that. So then as we come down, this is just a quick screenshot of all that IFTA offers. So we are one of the only certification companies that still offer live events. So a lot of those bigger certification companies don't have that feasibility just because they are so much larger. But being based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and having a smaller team that's still nationwide and even worldwide, we can host live events and that takes you to a calendar here, and you can see all the live events that we have, and most of them are certifications. This is a continuing education course, but even the certifications count for continuing education credits. So that is just one way to find our live events. I will show you another way a little bit later on. So scrolling down, we can see, we have if you're expired, you can be certified. So there are multiple ways to find what IFTA offers on the website. So this is not the only area where you can find that recertification. All right, a couple customer testimonies there. And we do have a health and fitness blog. Not many people know about that, but definitely check it out. And then, of course, just your normal information at the bottom, some quick links. So next up, if you're ever wondering who IFTA is, what we're all about, this is the About Us page. So IFTA has been around since 1993, and it once was called Interactive Fitness Trainers of America, but today, after new ownership, it's called International Fitness Trainers Association. And it's always been carrying the same vision and mission, which I will allow you to read on your own during your own search. And then again, all that IFTA provides. And then where IFTA is recognized, it is verified and approved by the US government. That's always a big question. But you don't have to worry about that. We are recognized, we are certified within the government, so you're receiving quality information at a very good price. And then, of course, you want to know about the owners and who's behind the business of IFTA. And then we have IFTA's story. And then these are just some of our trainers and presenters. We have so many more now. The team has grown, and those are found nationwide. So not only in North Carolina, but in California and across the world in Singapore. So it's super cool, all the areas that IFTA can still touch. So now we get into the meat of the website, probably what you are most curious about. So again, like I said, this is another link where you can find the live events calendar. That's just under fitness certifications, under the certify. We will see the live events. It's going to take you to that same calendar that I showed you earlier. But we are first going to look over all the IFTA certifications. So we have two primary certifications. We have our group fitness instructor and our personal trainer. So both of these are your primary. It's probably what the gym is going to look out for first. But if you already have one of these certifications and you're looking to specialize, IFTA has 11 specialty certifications. So as you can see, we have Aqua, Bar, Booty Sculpt, which is also known as Power Pilates, and this was a unique course written by an IFTA trainer. So it's a very popular course if you are interested in something that will make you stand out. And we, of course, have cycling, kickboxing, mat Pilates, and soon to come is reformer Pilates. So definitely expanding on the courses that we offer. We have a nutrition coach, and again, this is a little bit different than like a registered dietitian, but you're still going to receive that baseline nutrition knowledge. Senior fitness, step, tai chi, and then yoga. Just note that this yoga certification differs than the Yoga Alliance 200-hour training requirement. So this is more so if your gym doesn't require the 200-hour requirement, or you're just looking to expand your knowledge into this field. And so with these certifications, I will actually go into my dashboard so you can see what a course looks like. And we'll go over the dashboard more a little bit later. So let's go into the senior fitness one. So this is a course that I have completely gone through, but the dashboard is set up to make your learning as simple as possible. So in every single course, despite whichever one you pick, you will have an exercise science module, and they are all the same 4 quizzes. So once you do it once, you're going to be able to do it twice, 3 times, and so on. And then every course is also going to have a study guide and workbook. And those workbooks are more than likely going to be digital, so you can download them to your laptop or whatever device you're using. And then you have a workbook that goes directly like in order of the textbook for the most part. So it's recommended that you fill it out just to help your learning. And then we can see that we have a practical training section. And so, like I said earlier, this is what makes IFTA a little bit different. We, of course, have that online option if you just need to pick out a couple of our videos from our CEC library, our continuing education library, if there isn't a training close by, which is totally understandable. But we also offer an in-person option, and those will show up on the live calendar. You'll be able to attend a 4-hour certification where the workbook and textbook should be read and completed, but you come in with your questions with a little bit of background knowledge and have that hands-on experience. So that's what that in person looks like. But then you also have the option for that online, and that's where you'll download your 2 videos, requesting them here, and essentially you take notes, you interact with them, you learn from them. So that's the practical, and then you finally conclude with your final exam. It is open note. You can use your workbook, your textbook, your prior knowledge, and these quizzes or tests, right around 50 questions or so. The previous quizzes for the anatomy and exercise science quizzes are just about like 10 to 15. So nothing too overwhelming, just to test your knowledge. So that's what your dashboard looks like. Let's return back to all our certifications. So just note, and it does say it in our, well, it says it right here actually. You have 60 days to complete your course from the day you purchase it. So if you purchase it today, you have about 2 months in advance to complete every single step in it. And that's including your practical and your final exam. And after that 60-day window, your course won't show up in your account anymore and you have to reinstate it. But I will explain that and what that looks like later on. And just one final note over with our just main certifications. Our 2 primary ones require proof of a CPR certification. IFTA has an equivalent, which I will show you in a little bit, but for our specialty instructor certifications, you do not need to have proof of your CPR certification. All right, so next up under this fitness certification tab, which is going to be your main hub, it's going to have everything you're really looking for, is our renewal process. So every certification you go through is going to be 1 year, unless you choose a 2-year certification, which is $99 extra at the point of checkout. And the renewal process is very easy. It takes 3 simple steps, which owner Carter Collins explains here. But all you have to remember is that you have to earn your CECs, pay the renewal fee, which is a little bit different for each certification. We'll get into that. and then fill out this beautiful renewal form. We cannot give you your renewal certification without this form. So all three steps need to be completed, and then you'll be able to be fully recertified. So when looking at our 1-year certifications, it requires 5 CECs, all from IFTA, and I will show you that library in just a second. Plenty of articles and videos to go through to learn from. That renewal fee is going to range from $50 to $110, just depending on how many certifications that you do have from IFTA. And then we have everything nice and compiled here, tells you to earn your CECs. Here's that renewal form that you will fill out. And then here's the renewal fee link. And again, we can see that we have all our CEC credits here as well, just so it's all together. And soon we will be having a 2 CEC option. So that is in the works. Keep a lookout for that. If you do have a 2-year certification, it's going to be a little bit different, but again, follow those same 3 steps. Earn your CECs. This time it is 10 if they are all from IFTA. It's going to be 12 if you have at least 8 from IFTA and 4 from an outside source like NASM, AFA, ACE, wherever your other certification could be from. And then you will pay your renewal fee, which ranges this time from $85 to $175, just because your certification is lasting that extra year. And then the link here. So the renewal process is very straightforward if you follow this webpage. This will be your greatest help. But again, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. All our contact information is right up here, so you can call our phone number, email us, and we'll be more than happy to help you through this renewal process, just to make sure you understand that you're getting all the steps completed before your certification expires. So then finally, what happens if your certification expires? Let's say you're a month late or even a couple days late. Well, the recertification process is very simple. So again, fitness certifications, you hit that expired recertify, it's going to take you to this page. That recertification price is $189. You'll be able to choose which certification you need to recertify. And instead of having to go through that whole entire course again, you get to just do a 20-question test. Those questions are pulled from that final exam you would have done the first time, and it's just going to retest your knowledge just so you are good to go. But another option is called reinstating your course. So if you do buy your course and you need another 60 days to complete it on top of the 60 days after that purchase period, you will be able to reinstate your course for $75, which is a little bit different than this expired certification. The reinstating occurs more so before you're even certified with IFTA. But we will take a look at that. So now that we have gone through all these main buttons, let's just take a quick look at this continuing education tab. And we can see that our 1 CECs are going to be all our articles with a quiz to follow, and then the 3 CEC options are going to be our videos, again with a quiz to follow. All those quizzes are going to become a Google form. So we are going fully digital by the end of the summer of 2026, which is very exciting. If you're looking for a 4 CEC option, that will be getting another certification, especially one of those specialties. Those are always great to have. And like I said, those 2 CEC credits are coming soon by the end of the summer of 2026. So now let's look at our resources. So like I mentioned, we have a blog, we have an FAQ, but here we're going to take a look at add-ons and merchandise just really quick. Not so much focusing on the merchandise, but more so focusing on all these really cool add-ons that IFTA offers if you have more than one certification with us. So if you do have more than one, it's more than likely that they're going to expire at different dates, which can be a little confusing. The good thing is that if you have, let's say, two 1 year certifications, one in group fitness and one in aqua fitness, those five CECs that you earn for group fitness can also be applied to aqua fitness. So it's not like you're having to get all these CECs. Those same five can be used, but you may want to have all your certifications expire on one day. So if you have a mix in 1 and 2 year certifications, you will select that here and then so on. So we can see that we can bundle our 1 year, bundle our 2 year. And then if you're looking for that renewal fee and you weren't on the renewal tab, we have that here. And the price range is here just so you can select how many certifications you are renewing and what type they are. And then let's say you have your certification for personal training in your cart, but you want it to expire in 2 years and not 1 year. Well, you'll be able to add this to your cart and it will make that certification 2 years long now for an extra $99. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have our CPR equivalent, which this is the IFTA safety requirement. It's going to be a quick article and a quiz to follow. So just note that if you are in a gym that does require like American Red Cross or one of those bigger organizations that really specialize in CPR, you may still want to get a certification through them just because this is a requirement that IFTA has created and that only IFTA recognizes. So, as we can see, there are many other options under this course, or under this tab, I'm sorry. But overall, you'll just primarily need these guys right here. And then we do have some other options here. Rushing your certificate is always an option. We'll get it to you within 10 business days, usually much sooner than that. And that's going to be digital. So if you do want a physical certificate, we can send that off to you. And then replacing a lost certificate, again, we send them digitally, so we would be able to dig them up and then resend it to you as well. So one other thing I do want to look at again is our dashboard. So the dashboard is going to be your main, or I guess your second main hub, because I already said that this fitness certifications will be your main hub for finding stuff. But your dashboard will be everything you need for you, of course. And so when you go to your dashboard, like I briefly went over earlier, you'll be able to find all your courses that you've purchased. And then you'll also be able to and can have these quick links to do anything you need for your certification. So renew, replace, we've talked about. I have not talked about retake a failed test or reinstate my course. Now, these two tabs are only going to be found within your dashboard just because they're not really applicable to anybody who doesn't have a IFTA certification just yet. So, when you go to retaking a failed test, if we click on this tab, we can see that it costs $110 to retake your test. And sometimes it happens, sometimes some questions are a little bit more difficult than others. You can't exactly find it in all your notes. It's totally okay. You have that option to retake the test 2 times. Then after that, you will have to repurchase the course. But you need a 75% or higher to pass. So we can make that pretty simple to pass. We don't have very many people fail at all. But that option is there just in case. And then reinstating your course was something else I mentioned. And so this is if you just bought your course, 60 days have passed, and you can't find your course in your dashboard anymore. Well, you have exceeded that period where you can't access your course anymore. But instead of having to repurchase an entire course, you can pay $75 to reinstate your course, which means you're given access to it again. And you can do this twice within a 6-month period. And this is just because after 60 days, test scores do tend to decline. So you can't keep reinstating it just because you're not going to be able to apply as much of your knowledge because it's not going to be as fresh. and we want you to do as well as possible. So those are just the other two tabs that we will only find in our dashboard once you purchase a certification. Retake a failed test and reinstate my course are not found anywhere else on the website. So now we can see the manage your account area. We can see, so you have an orders tab of all the orders that you have placed. It shows that I haven't made any orders just yet. And you will notice that whenever you click on a tab, it brings you to the top. Don't keep reloading the page. Go ahead and scroll down, and that new tab will be open. Downloads is going to be where you find all your CEC courses. So from articles to essays to videos, and then in addition to your downloaded content like a textbook or a workbook. So you'll find that there. And then everything else is just your personal information, and you can always change that if necessary. So the final thing I do want to take a look at are our frequently asked questions. And I won't go over every single one, but do know that this resource exists and it is so helpful. Again, feel free to reach out to us anytime, but it is nice to have these readily available if you have a question before ordering, and you can just have this quick reference here. So we have questions about certifications, how the online portal works, renewals, and then even about your account. So I know that was a lot of information. There's lots of resources on this website, but hopefully this video helped outline the most important areas to look and where you can find specific answers to questions and what that certification, renewal, and recertification process looked like. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back with more informational videos soon.